I myself take a supplement that helps with intermittent fasting because the typical American diet just sucks. And honestly, the food there is out there, it is hard to eat healthy these days. So when you can have something that helps balance your food so your blood sugar doesn't spike as high, it is just a bonus. It's a bonus, especially when it's plant-based and it's good nutrition. This morning I am drinking my Unimate, and I have a cinnamon stick in it because I literally am obsessed with it right now. And this is just in the last 24 hours. I just started buying the cinnamon because someone told me that it tasted really good in lemon tea, and I wanted to try it, and I'm addicted. So let me tell you what I'm doing. So what I do is when I open my packet of Unimate in the morning, my yerba mate tea, I put half of it in my coffee cup, and I put 10 ounces of hot water from the Keurig, and I throw in a stick of cinnamon, and I drink it hot, and it is so good. It helps cut the cravings. It gets me into that ketone burning state. So I'm burning 24% more fat, making 80% more ketones for the full 2 hours after drinking it. And it tastes phenomenal. I'm telling you guys, cinnamon is the key to success. Then I take the other half of the bottle. And so I take the other half of the packet, and that's what I'm showing you right now. Basically, I opened this up and I dumped half of it into my coffee cup this morning. Measuring, that's how I measure, you guys. Dumped half in, I'm gonna dump the other half now. Then I fill my water bottle, okay? Dump the other half of my lemon in there. Now, if I want to, the cinnamon tastes amazing cold as well. So I grab my little cinnamon guy here, and I just add it. That's my cooking tip for the day. Just throw it in there, shake it up, and then I'm gonna put this in the fridge and get it nice and cold. And this is what I'm gonna sip on all morning. This tastes phenomenal, helps me stay in that fat burning state and keep my ketones going, gives me the caffeine I need to stay alert, and the ketones go to my brain as well. So if you know anything about brain health, your brain works 50% off sugar, 50% off ketones. So when you get up in the morning, you still have blood sugar, okay? You always have that baseline. For most people, if you're healthy, your blood sugar is gonna be probably between 80 and 100 in the morning. If you're diabetic or borderline diabetic, it's gonna be much higher, okay? It's gonna be well over 100, and that's pretty common for someone if they're type 2 or borderline diabetic. However, if you're healthy, you're gonna have between 80 and 100, so your brain is still gonna be burning off some of that blood sugar. But if you start your morning fasting, you don't eat right away, and you do something like the tea, it is gonna amp up your ketone production like crazy by 80%. 80% for the first 2 hours of your day. That's huge, and ketones feed your brain. They help you get rid of brain fog. They make it so that you can think clearly, so that you know what you're doing. For me as a pharmacist, that's essential to feel mentally clear all day long. And to not have to drink insane amount of caffeine to get there. I personally used to drink coffee from the Keurig every morning. I'd get a Starbucks on the way to work or late morning sometimes instead. I drink Monster or a Celsius energy drink in the afternoon. Sometimes I'd go get a big Diet Coke for my afternoon break. And I drink another coffee before I go to the gym because I'd be tired and I need the energy. I was drinking insane amounts of caffeine, you guys, insane. Now I just take a packet of tea. The tea does not break your fast. No, it does not. It has just under 2 carbs in it and no sugar. So in the tea itself, it's got 10 calories, no fat, 2 grams of sugar, or 2 grams of carbs, I'm sorry. And it's made with green mate leaf extract. And if you've read anything about Unimate and yerba mate and how it acts to suppress your hunger, it works on the GLP, the same as Ozempic. Okay, same mechanism of action. It's gonna work at that GLP receptor to make you not feel as hungry. It's amazing. And it's plant-based and it's natural. Yes, so that is what I like. That's my newest thing. The half a packet hot and a half a packet cold, and then I add the cinnamon stick. I am obsessed with the cinnamon stick. If you're wanting to add a little flavor, a little change in the flavor, instead of adding weirdo flavoring agents, cinnamon stick. I'm telling you, I'm really obsessed with it right now. You have itself, Unimate. If you've looked at any of my posts, I talk about yerba mate and how amazing it is for the body, how it amps up that ketone production, gives you energy, and it helps you cut the cravings. It helps you feel less hungry. It's incredible. Not to mention, if you use this to help you promote intermittent fasting, so you drink this instead of eating breakfast, you're gonna save at your grocery bill because you're not eating breakfast anymore. You're skipping that Starbucks drive-through. This is a cost savings sort of thing, as well as it gets you off the insane amounts of caffeine because you have more natural energy from caffeine. It's $5 a day, and it actually saves you a lot, not only in your grocery bill, your drive-through bill, and your waistline, because when you start getting thinner here, and the visceral fat is the first thing that burns when you're talking about ketones. The fat around the organs right here. We're talking about taking down that belly fat. When you start burning right here, not only are you amplifying how your brain works, you're giving your brain natural energy source here, guys. And you're lowering your medication bill, lowering the amount of times you need to go to the doctor, boosting your immune system. I mean, it's all a balance. I love the flavor of it. So let me talk a little bit about, if you're new, my name is Dr. Jen. I'm a pharmacist and diabetic educator. And about 9 months ago, I had a whole bunch of the Ozempic friends and patients coming into the pharmacy and complaining, telling me that they were having a lot of problems, side effects, issues, nausea, diarrhea, stomach cramps, throwing up, all of those things. They were just feeling horrible. And they were asking me for some solutions, and I honestly didn't have any. And it was frustrating because as someone in healthcare, you want to be the person with solutions. That's literally your job. They come to you for questions and answers. And when I didn't have the answers, I was frustrated. So I went digging, and research is kind of my passion, is what I love. I've been doing that since I was 8 years old. Reading scientific studies. I know my level of nerd is like way up here, you guys. So when people started asking questions I didn't have the answer to, I started looking. Yes. So yeah. So with me, I drink the tea in the morning. It helps promote intermittent fasting. And what intermittent fasting does for your gut is phenomenal. I want to talk about that just for one moment. When you intermittent fast and you do something as simple as that tea, you are going to completely change your gut microbiome. And if you know anything, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the heart. When you start talking about your gut microbiome, you guys, your gut and your brain, your gut is your second brain for a reason. The gut-brain axis is so important. Your gut is where serotonin is made. That is your happy neurotransmitter. That's what Prozac and Zoloft helps your brain with, okay? Serotonin. Serotonin is 80% created in your gut. We're talking about depression and anxiety, you guys. You heal your gut, you heal your mind. It's incredible. Intermittent fasting can do that for you. Can help the serotonin not only get higher in your brain and your gut, but not only that, but it can help destroy the bad bacteria in your gut and grow the good bacteria. Now, the bad bacteria in your gut is the bacteria, we call it bad because it's the sugar addicted bacteria. There's two types of bacteria in your gut. There's good and there's bad. The good is the kind of bacteria that feeds off of lean proteins and healthy fats, where the bad bacteria feeds off sugar. When your gut microbiome, when you eat sugar all day long, if you snack, no matter what it is, if you're snacking every few hours throughout the day, you're constantly filling your body with sugar and insulin, sugar and insulin. Not only are you getting yourself to an insulin resistant state, but you're feeding all that gut bacteria and it just grows. So guess what that does? It feeds your addiction to sugar and salt and fat and all the chemicals in our diet. Now, if you can do something as simple as intermittent fasting, you cut down the bad bacteria in the gut microbiome. You get yourself in a catabolic state, a breakdown state. And in the gut, what happens is your bad bacteria is starved out first because there's no sugar. You get that sugar level down, the bad bacteria has nothing to feed off of. You get that chemical level down, that fat level down because you're not eating. You're in fasting or starvation mode. And that gut bacteria just dies off. It has no food. Now your good bacteria is still feeding off some of what is in your bloodstream, but some of it dies off too. I have to be honest with you. You'll kill off some of your good bacteria as well. But as soon as you break your fast, and if you break it with something that's a prebiotic, probiotic and polyphenol fiber like Balance. Okay, this is a biocomplex fiber, you guys. They've honed in on studying this since 2010 to make it to get that perfect balance. That's why they call it Balance. Changed the name a few years ago because it works so good at balancing sugar. When you add that prebiotic, probiotic, polyphenol fiber into your gut to break your fast, you feed that good bacteria like crazy. So this is how it works. Every day you break down the bad bacteria, you break down a little bit of that good bacteria as well, and then you refeed that good bacteria with this. And when you do that, over a few weeks' time, the good bacteria will be so replenished, the bad bacteria will be down to nothing. You completely change your cravings game, you guys. There's scientific studies that show you actually change your taste buds. You start craving healthy food. You start not liking the junk anymore, the snacky foods, the sugar, the salty. You don't crave it. This got me, drinking this stuff got me off Starbucks, and I was highly addictive. There was a time where I was drinking 3 Starbucks a day. Okay, not every day, no one can afford that. But there were days I was doing that just to stay awake and to stay alert because I had a really busy day at work. I had a whole bunch of patients. I knew I needed to be on my game. I was slamming the Starbucks. I was addicted to the sugar, and as soon as that sugar crashed, there was 60 grams of sugar in my Starbucks drink that I drank. 60 grams. You guys, that's insane. I was so sugar addicted. And from day one, I switched from drinking the Starbucks every day to just drinking the tea. Didn't get a headache and completely changed my gut microbiome. I tried to drink a Starbucks. After months of this, I tried to drink a Starbucks the other day. Bleh. Did not even like the taste of it. That's the scientific word for it. Bleh. That's what it tasted like. It was crazy. Yeah, you use the Balance with your meal. You drink it, sorry if I'm not paying attention to the questions. You take the Balance and you mix it. I mix it in this water bottle. The water bottle they send you shows you exactly how much water you can put with it. It's also marked on the package, but you put this much water in your water bottle, you dump in your Balance, you shake it up and drink it. And it coats the inside of your gut. It helps with that pH, it helps with that microbiome, it helps change your cravings game. Not to mention the fiber in here, there's also insoluble fiber in here. So what that insoluble fiber does, the soluble fiber is gonna make that gel matrix. The insoluble fiber is gonna help you go to the bathroom the way you should, because when food comes in, food should be coming out. That's how your body is supposed to work. So if you don't go to the bathroom every day, and you know what I'm talking about when I say go to the bathroom, if you don't go to the bathroom every day, you are slowing down your entire system. You're causing yourself reflux, acid indigestion. You actually cause stomach distension. Your intestines get out of whack. It can mess with your vitamin nutrient absorption. Here's the honest truth, you guys. I started this because I had literal friends coming into my pharmacy and saying, I need help. Can you help me? And I couldn't help them. I bought this for myself after 6 months of studying this product. And I didn't just study this product. I studied yerba mate, which is in this Unimate tea, is the ingredient in this Unimate tea. I studied the types of fiber that were in the Balance, each and every type, okay? And there's multiple types of fiber and polyphenols in it that are actually physically studied over and over again by many different companies on how they lower cholesterol. I studied the Balance and the vitamins in it, okay? It has vitamin A, C, E, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, B6, folic acid, B12, biotin, calcium, zinc, and chromium. This can replace your multivitamin, okay? The only thing that's not in here is your vitamin D. I still take a vitamin D supplement because that is not in here. This does meet my B12 requirements though. I have been B12 deficient in the past, and with this, I am no longer B12 deficient. Okay, so when people tell me, they're like, oh, you're trying to sell stuff. I'm like, I am trying to brag about how well this works for me and now for my friends. Because I brought this into the pharmacy and now my pharmacy technicians are all drinking it. And one of them brought me flowers yesterday for Valentine's Day. And I said, girl, why are you bringing me flowers? You know, you don't need to do that. And she's like, girl, I've lost 15 pounds in 2 months. All because you brought this tea in and told us to try it. So yeah, it's been phenomenal for me, my family, my friends. And so I'm going to get on here and I'm going to talk about it. Do I have a link in my bio? Yes, I do. I have, if you click on my name, you will find a link in my bio. It will get you to a whole bunch of information, questions and answers about this. You know, should I be taking this if I have PCOS and hormone issues? Yes, because it's helped so many people. If I am type 2 diabetic or borderline, is this going to help with my blood sugar? Yes. And I'm going to explain to you exactly how that works. When you take that Unimate in the morning, that yerba mate tea, and you're in that fasted state and you're making 80% more ketones and burning 24% more fat, you guys, you are at this key point where the ketones are feeding your brain, your gut microbiome is changing, your cravings are cut completely. Within 1 to 2 weeks, it was somewhere in between 1 and 2 weeks, my cravings, my snacking was just, it didn't even exist, you guys. It didn't exist. I did not crave the junk. It worked fast for me. For some people, it takes a little bit longer. It depends on how long you've been insulin resistant and how long you have been addicted to the sugar and the salt and the fat. Thank you so much, Positivity. So what I do is I drink that tea in the morning. I get into that fasted state, and then I break my fast with that polyphenol prebiotic probiotic fiber. I take it 7 to 10 minutes before my meal. It coats my gut and it keeps me out of that insulin resistant state. And the reason it does that is because it balances sugar. Fiber and sugar work together to balance each other. They really do. That's why your doctor will tell you if you drink a glass of apple juice, it will spike your blood sugar like crazy. Don't do it. It's bad for you. But if you eat a whole apple, it only takes your blood sugar up a little bit and it's great for you. Why is that? Because when you eat the whole apple, the flesh and everything, you're getting the fiber. The fiber with the sugar is balanced. Just the straight sugar shoots your insulin up. Terrible for you. Eating the apple, great for you. That's what you get when you mix fiber and sugar together. When you ingest it together, there is a balance. So if you're not doing something like this and you're like me and you're eating every 2 to 3 hours, you get up in the morning, you add blood sugar, bump up your blood sugar with your coffee with cream and sugar. So your blood sugar goes up, your insulin level goes up. Then as it starts to come down, I would have a typical morning snack. I would, even some beef jerky, which actually had a decent amount of sugar in it. My sugar insulin would go up. Then I'd have my Starbucks coffee, sugar and insulin through the roof. As it started to come down, I would have lunch, more sugar and insulin. Then as it started to come down, I would often have some Starburst, suck on some Werther's original candy. I was sugar addicted, you guys. Up with the sugar and insulin some more. It would come down, then I would have dinner, sugar and insulin. And at night while I slept, that level would start to come down. But when it hit morning, and it got to that point where my body was ready to change from a sugar burning, food burning system to a fat burning system, just as that ketone production is starting to amp up, which is somewhere between 8 and 10 hours for people of fasting. So overnight period, you wake up, you're in that fasting zone, your body is ready to start burning that fat, opening up the fat cells here and releasing that sugar stored as energy. And then I would go and eat or drink coffee with cream and sugar. And that just put me in an insulin resistant state, because when you're putting sugar and insulin in your body all day long, insulin gets to the point where the receptors don't work as well and it can't get the sugar out of your bloodstream and into the cells, into the muscle and into the fat, because that's where it stores it. And if your body has too much sugar and too much insulin going on and the receptors are overbogged and you can't get rid of that sugar out of your bloodstream, that's what's called diabetes. So long-term insulin resistance, that's what you're setting yourself up for. That's why if you look at the American Diabetic Association, and I have posts on that, 80% of people who are insulin resistant don't even know it. They don't even know it because they haven't had it long enough that they're diabetic yet. The yerba mate has no drug interactions and it actually decreases inflammation. Colitis is inflammation of the colon. So you will actually decrease inflammation using fasting and using these products. If you look up yerba mate, it will talk about how it helps not only with blood sugar and insulin resistance, but inflammation in the body. The balance as well, this is not a high fiber, okay? You can spread the fiber out between lunch and dinner. You can spread it out more between snacks if you want to, however you want to do that. It is recommended. The 90-day money-back guarantee is done because of the studies they did show that when you use the 1 tea a day and the 2 fiber a day, you get the best results. for a majority of people. So that's why they sell it that way, just so you're aware. But yes, you can use that with colitis. There are a lot of different ways to vary your fast, you guys. So for a majority of people, doing the 16 and 8, which is what the system promotes, okay, this helps you do a 16 and 8 fasting. Some people will become stagnant over time. What it means by that is sometimes you need to start varying your fast. If you are a female, it may be that you need to balance your hormones some more. And in order to do that, that may mean that you have little breaks from your fasting period, which means periods where your fast is only like 12 to 13 hours, much shorter, and that you actually increase your carbs, such as right before your period. Women, right before their period, because there's need to be making progesterone, having their estrogen low, their progesterone high, and because they want to balance those cortisol levels, those stressful cortisol levels that pop up right before our period during that premenstrual cycle, part of our right before, like 5 to 7 days for some women, that is when you need to shorten your fast a little bit. Make sure that you're getting some more of your healthy carbs. And I'm not talking just start downing loaves of bread, because those are simple carbs and those are ones that raise your blood sugar really bad. I'm talking about like apples, okay? Those are good carbs. Vegetables, more fruits and vegetables that are high carb. You can get in those extra carbs. You can even get in some healthy grains and stuff. Those are perfect for you. That will help boost up your progesterone level. And that's what you need to keep your cortisol level low, your stress level lower, your hormones balanced, and then you go into your period and it's much lighter. I can tell you, because that's what I've been doing and it works really well. If you have no menstrual periods, you can still vary that cycle. And what people typically do, because it's the easiest, is during the week, they do their 16 and 8. And on the weekends, they shorten that. They increase those complex carbs, allow themselves a little bit of that extra sugar, and allow their hormones to balance. Because if you are a female and you have no menstrual cycle, you still have hormones that are going up and down. And sometimes we can get stuck in the weight loss game if our hormones are way out of whack. Now, you can go to a specialist and get your hormone level drawn like every week for so many weeks, and they can tell you exactly where your estrogen and your progesterone is. It's a little bit of an expensive thing. If you're not into that, you can just try varying your fast. Just vary your fast. Take the weekends off and make it less fasting. So I'm not talking about just eating junk and eating cake, and that's going to make you feel terrible. I'm talking about shortening that fasting period and making sure you're getting those foods that are really good to boosting up your hormone levels. Okay, so like avocados, your healthy fats, phenomenal for you. Okay, things like the complex carbs, so like the whole grains, beans, nuts, all of that good stuff. That is the stuff that really feeds us women our hormones. Now, if you're a dude, life is easy for you, okay? You get testosterone released into your bloodstream every 15 minutes, okay? Your estrogen and your progesterone, all those are just not a worry for you at all, and you don't have to worry about cycles. Your life is easy. You can fast like a crazy person, however you want. You can also vary your fast. You can do different things. There are people who do 36 hours of just water and drink only, and 12 hours of feasting, and they do phenomenal with that. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, everybody's chemistry, biology is different. Some people do the 16 and 8 fast and they melt. I've seen people not change their diet at all, do the 16 and 8 fasting and drop 100 pounds in like a year and a half. Like, it's just crazy. The results are just so easy for them. Other people have to vary it. They get stuck and they have to vary the fast. So that's why I like working one-on-one with people. If you choose me as your coach, you just got to click on the link in that bio. I'll get you my personal number and we can work together. So PCOS, this is actually, person after person has reached out to me on how this has helped them with PCOS and fertility. So if that's a problem, we can have a conversation. But yes, this loses weight, the visceral weight, the belly fat, and that is the area that people with PCOS have the worst problem with. It's that inflammation that is a problem, and it's that belly fat. It actually slows down your hormone production, your hormones get out of whack, and that's where PCOS happens. It's inflammation is a big thing. This takes down the inflammatory response, helps with insulin resistance. And like I said, 80% of people are insulin resistant and don't know it. Don't know it. 50% of them are not obese. And that's something I'm throwing out there to you people. I was insulin resistant and I was not obese. I was 145 pounds. Okay, that's not obese. And I was insulin resistant because I was eating all day long. I was filling my body with sugar all day long. And although I did have some extra belly fat, I mean, at 145 pounds, you're still holding some extra belly fat. Okay, not denying that at all. But I wasn't morbidly obese. You know, I was 145 pounds and I was still insulin resistant. I was having all of these sugar issues, health issues, high blood pressure. I was on omeprazole every single day. I'm not on omeprazole anymore. I haven't taken a single omeprazole since I started this. This system is really easy, okay? And a lot of people just melt when they're on it. They just lose, they lose a lot of weight. And when they get to the point where they start to plateau or they get stuck, that's actually my favorite part, because that's the exciting part. That's the science part. That's when we can start saying, okay, here's where you're at. Here's how you're feeling. Let's see how we can change this. Let's see how we can vary your fast a little bit, change your diet a tiny bit, maybe add a tiny bit of exercise. And guess what? It can change your results phenomenally. Hormones, you're talking about estrogen and progesterone are your hormones you can have checked. Okay, your estrogen and your progesterone levels. You can also get your testosterone checked. It doesn't matter that much. It's mostly the progesterone and the estrogen that you really need to worry about. If your estrogen is too high, you're going to be out of whack and you can't lose weight. If your progesterone is too low, you're going to be out of whack and you're going to have trouble losing weight. Progesterone gets too low because your stress hormone cortisol gets too high. Or if you get in such a stressed state, your progesterone will get low. If you're just stressing yourself out like crazy. And let me tell you guys, when it comes to weight loss and diets, people can easily get stressed. Don't make it a stressful experience. Don't. You gotta fix your mindset. That's number one, fixing your mindset. I did mindset coaching for a long time, and let me tell you, when it comes to weight loss, when you get your head wrapped around weight loss correctly, you stop seeing it as stressful. You stop seeing that if you eat badly one day, don't get that negative Nelly mindset and start belittling yourself and getting frustrated with yourself and talking down to yourself because you made a mistake or you had a bad day. You move on. You don't worry about it at all. You just start anew the next day and say, today I'm going to do that much better. That's what you do. Don't stress yourself out. Don't make dieting hard. If you start going into dieting and talking about, oh, I'm restricted. Oh, I can't eat this anymore. Oh my gosh, this. Don't look at it that way. What you look at it instead is I have the opportunity to, instead of spending money on junk food, I'm going to spend my money on health and wellness. And when I'm going to allow myself a little treat here and there. And when you want to allow yourself those little extra carb treats, those breads, that little extra like chocolate, those kind of things, just do it right. Break your fast with something like a prebiotic, probiotic, polyphenol fiber, okay, that's going to be healthy for your gut. Get your fiber in first. Get your protein in next. Make sure you're prioritizing that protein. Okay, that's going to make you, the fiber and the protein is going to make you fuller, longer. You won't have as much appetite for the carbs and the sugar. You still want to have some of that carbs and sugar? Add it then. Get the fiber in, get the protein, then add your carbs and your sugar. And not only will you want less of it, it won't even taste as good. It won't, I promise you. Once your gut microbiome starts healing, your taste buds start changing, the junk food will not taste as good. You still want to try it, you want to have it once in a while, that's fine. Eat the fiber first, have your protein, then go ahead and add those carbs. Have that bread, have that chocolate, or whatever it is that's your sweet treat. Drink that Starbucks drink if you want. If you just want it and you got in your head, it's my birthday, I want to have a Starbucks, go for it. But get your fiber in first, get that protein, then go ahead and have it like dessert. And guess what's going to happen? You probably won't be able to finish it. You won't even want to finish it. Because once you get that good stuff in your body and your body starts feeding off of it and you just really start loving it, you get to the point where you don't even want it. So I was a Starbucks junkie, Starbucks addict. I can say it. You can ask my children, my teenage girls. Okay, you can ask them all day long how addicted I was to that stuff. For me, with this, I lost 5 pounds. Okay, these are my size 8s. Okay, and these used to be so tight that I couldn't dream of putting them on. And now I've got room to move. And I'm telling you right now, this may be TMI. If there's men on here, I'm sorry. But I am 2 days before my period. I track my periods now because I do vary a little bit with my fast. I am 2 days before my period. I am the most bloated and most chubby, ugly feeling that I can be during my entire month. And this is me right now. And that is because I use a system that makes me, decreases my bloating, helps me go to the bathroom on a regular basis. I'm not constipated all the time anymore. I don't have reflux anymore because right now I'm food in, food out. And that's how your body's supposed to work. Honestly, that is how your body is supposed to work. If you're not somebody who's taking food in and getting food out every single day, your body is backed up. It's causing reflux, it's causing GERD, it's causing the nutrients that are stuck in the bowels. Your body is working so hard to try to digest that it's not working on the food in your gut, and it doesn't get absorbed the way it should. You're not getting your macro and micronutrients the way it should. So when it comes to blood sugar, your body is always going to have a baseline of blood sugar. It's never going to be zero. If you don't know anything about blood sugar or the science there, just so you know, there's always a baseline. Your body always has some sugar in your bloodstream. That's what you need for energy, for fuel. Even when you're sleeping, your body is burning that sugar. In the fasted state, your body realizes there's not enough sugar in the bloodstream, and not in a dangerous way, just so you know, but it realizes that you're not adding food, you're not getting blood sugar in your system, and that's when it starts breaking down the fat, opening up your fat, breaking down the energy, taking the sugar out of the cell, okay? That's what helps you lose the fat there. You're breaking that sugar out of the cell, that cell is getting destroyed, it's getting broken down, and you're using that energy for fuel. You're using the sugar from those fat cells, and you're using it to make ketones. Feed your brain and feed your entire body. Literally feed all of your cells the energy that it needs. And that's what fasting is so phenomenal, is it helps break that. What product are we talking about? We're talking about Unicity. It's got Unimate and Balance. It's the yerba mate tea that increases 80% more ketone production and 24% more fat burning for the first 2 hours after you drink it in the morning. You drink it in the fasted state, and then you take the Balance, the fiber matrix, 7 to 10 minutes before lunch and for dinner to coat your gut, to change your gut microbiome, to help you cut the cravings, to help balance your sugar. Because when you eat a typical meal or drink a coffee drink, your sugar goes up and your insulin goes up, and then your body works all day to get that down, to fight that system. When you do something like the Balance and you get that fiber in your system and it's coating your gut, fiber attaches itself to that sugar molecule, gets absorbed slower into your bloodstream. So instead of getting a sugar and insulin spike, you get a sugar and insulin increase and then decrease. You don't get that huge spike, and you don't get that huge red alert, drop all the insulin we can into the bloodstream, okay? You're keeping your pancreas healthier that way. If you get rid of insulin resistance, you start decreasing inflammation in the body, because inflammation in the body happens from things like your blood sugar being so high and insulin getting released all the time. All of that is in your bloodstream. High amounts of sugar does physical damage to the inside of your body, to your organs, to your eyes, to all the little arteries. That's why people lose fingers and toes when they're diabetic, because they're not getting the blood supply. Where can we get it? You can actually click on the link in my bio. And if you go through me, then you're going to get my personal cell phone number so we can work one-on-one. And then you're also going to get all the benefits of the free shipping and the discounts and everything like that. If you get it off Amazon or eBay, which I've had people do before and then come reach out to me and say, how can I get it here and get it cheaper? You just got to use the link. How do you test your own blood sugar? You can, Grey Wolf, you can go to any pharmacy. My pharmacy, actually here in my hometown, does great at giving out free testing meters. And we have boxes of the test strips that test your blood sugar that are only like $9 for 50 of them. I believe Walmart still actually has a program where they do that. You may want to call Walgreens and see if they do, if they have an inexpensive over-the-counter testing system. But it's actually very inexpensive to test if you find the right ones. So yeah. And you could just test your blood sugar right by a little finger prick and see what your blood sugar is. You want to see what your blood sugar is at the fasting state when you first wake up in the morning, because a lot of people are really surprised. They test their blood sugar in the morning and it's like 140, 160. It's crazy numbers, well over 100. You want it more like 80. And if your numbers are high, it means you're definitely insulin resistant. You may even be diabetic, and it's concerning. It's important because diabetes long term has a lot of potential problems, okay? It can increase your risk of heart disease, increase your risk of heart attacks and strokes, increase your risk of dying young, okay? It has increased mortality and morbidity for hospitalizations. One of the number one risk factors of dying of COVID was obesity, and that is tied into diabetes.